Good evening. It is April 30th, so it is nearing the end of the day in Eastern Time for those of us who are here in my time zone. But for those of you who are in different time zones, some of you are already into tomorrow and or sound asleep. So and I didn't turn off my phone. And so this is another Chatting with Wisdom, but this is our final day of the Gratitude Challenge. And so we are on day 30 of this gratitude challenge that started on April 1st. And so if you've been along with me for this journey, you know that we start this gratitude challenge every year on my birthday, so which is April 1st, and then we end on the last day of the month. And so, but we don't stop here. And so generally, I have, once we're done the gratitude challenge, then everybody just kind of goes off and does their own thing. And we still stay connected for anybody who has been in the challenge. And if you have been part of the challenge, then you know that you have access to continuing to support each other and get support to be able to continue on that through the Telegram group. And so we have a private group that you have access to through the portal. And so, and yes, it is raining, and I should probably close my door while I am recording. However, it just sounds really nice to have this rain. It's not cold. It's not cold rain, so it is, well, it is if we stand outside in it, but but it's a nice cool breeze that's coming in and giving us some fresh air into the house with all of this with all this snow that we've had. So we definitely haven't enjoyed that. So I apologize if the sound of the cars going by is distracting in the rain. But I wanted to be able to share what our final daily journal prompt has been, and be able to talk more about what's next. And so I'm going to start off with the what's next before I get into the daily prompt. And so I talked a little bit about it yesterday, and I talked a little bit about it in previous days, is inner power. So inner power starts on Friday, this coming Friday, May 5th. And so we're going to be diving in deeper into really trying to navigate our way around the gratitude and how that plays a factor in bringing that into fruition, into that part of things. And that leads us into the reflection. And so for the last 30 days, we've been talking about different things that make us feel grateful. Like we are talking about things that happened. And of course, I shared my journey with you guys over the last 30 days. And 2 days ago, I really shared my journey with you guys in the sense of having won the lottery as well. So like and supporting the Artemis and District Hospital. So for those of you who are thinking, okay, well, how is that your hospital? So where we live in a very rural community, and so we either travel 3 hours north to access specific services, or we travel 2 hours south, or we travel 3 hours east. Typically, that's kind of our range of motion as to where it is that we access medical services. We do go down further as well, so like within Toronto or Ottawa, sometimes London, depending on where it is. But for the most part, they have specialty services that are available within our northern area. So like that's typically where it is that we travel to. And so Timmins and District Hospital is our catchment for specific things. So our MRI, for example, is up in our MRI services is up in Timmins. And they have some other services as well that we have access to that way. So and I was born there. I have family there, and so I still periodically contribute to doing some fundraising, and so that is how that came about. Because that has been one of the questions. Is like, well, why there? Like, why did you buy tickets there? And so the other place that I will sometimes buy tickets to, and again, I don't buy them very often because we have one for our own hospital. But again, I buy periodically. I don't buy on a regular basis. And the other one is Toronto Sick Kids. So I also contribute to that one as well periodically. So this was just an added bonus. And so we were talking about that today of like, of being able to be grateful for different things that we have going on and just be that. So yes, we just donate, right? So we donate to thank and support the services and stuff that we have access to. And so it's just a lot of times it's just a donation. So I have one little things here and there from being able to like jump into some of these things, but it has been huge. And so because that's one of the things in today's daily prompt is tell me how grateful you were over these past 30 days to identify what you were grateful like in your life. And so I found lots of things that I was grateful for this year that because it has been a rough go. And so again, for anybody who has been with me for some time, knows that, and I always go back to my broken leg in June. And so, but during that time, it was like from June until September, end of September, before I was actually able to kind of get back into the groove of the things that I needed to do or that I wanted to do, or being able to really connect with services, and so very limited services prior to that, and moving on top of that. So there's lots of things, and not that I'm not grateful for a lot of the things that had happened during that time, but it was really, really hard some days to be able to stay positive in the things that were going on, and being able to have that. And then in March, Clark came along, bringing us great joy, and I loved that opportunity and that time. And then I got sick, and it was like, okay, so now I'm like circling all the way back through, because after I was better, then my husband got sick, and then then when he was starting to get better, then my mother-in-law was took ill as well. So then it's like, okay, so it's just been like this constant roller coaster of things around health and in our household. And so then when I took sick again in June, it was like, in March, it was like, oh no. And I had not been sick like that since 2019. So it's been a really, really long time. And so like during these 30 days, that was one of the things that I was able to like, so yes, I was sick. Yes, I was behind. So I was like 3 weeks behind because I would work one day thinking that I'm feeling better, and then I would be right back down again. And then I would be up again. And then, so like, it was like this constant roller coaster of being able to feel better. And so, and part of that time was not being able to see Clark, because I didn't want him and his mom to get sick. And so, my son's tough enough, he can like build up his immune system, but mom's also nursing, so like I didn't want to contribute to that. And so then when when April came around, it was like, okay, so starting fresh, starting new. And then it was really hard to stay on a positive note as well, because like we were constantly in snowstorms and things like that were happening. So it's like, okay, I just want spring. And we actually had like 2 full weeks that it was like super nice, and people were cleaning up their yards and getting all those things going. And even though we had snow in our yards, still people were still cleaning up. Like I pulled out all of the patio furniture, got all that set up. And so like it's just like all these different things of being able to have that little bit. And then winning the lottery on top of that, it was like, this is like the icing on the cake of being able to find that gratitude. And had I not, then that would not have been a big deal either. But it's about being able to have that that feeling of like putting something forward and getting moving and going ahead. And so like same as with having this new program that's coming up, and being able to have that enlightenment of being able to tap in. And so one of the things I have not yet announced that I'm sharing right now is that I have had a book in the works for some time, and I just spoke to a publisher today, and it has been confirmed. We are going to be working through that. So within the next couple weeks, I will have finished my chapters, and they're going to get edited. And so I would not have done that had I not been in a good place. And so being in a good place, at least for me and for most people, is having that gratitude and finding the things that we're positive about. And so being able to have that opportunity of being able to say, okay, so I'm doing this. And I met with the publisher today, And so she and I had some great conversations, and we're both on the same page, and being able to kind of go from there. So again, it's about how did it affect me. So like that's the second part of the prompt is how did this affect you? And it gave me that confidence to really say it's time. It's time for me to do this. I've been sitting on this for some time. It's time for me to do this. I've been writing more frequently on blog posts and sharing different things that way. And so this month has really been huge in terms of being able to create that, um, creating that awareness in our life of my life, because it's not it's not like other people can't fit into what it is that is going on for you. So it's really, really important for you to do that part. And because somebody else being grateful for the things that are going on in your life isn't going to make you feel any better. So it really is about being able to tap into that gratitude, tap into that awareness, and um, being able to be grateful. And like I said, being able to tap into, I'm really looking forward to this journey with those who've actually signed up for the Inner Power, because we are definitely going to connect and support each other through these next 4 weeks of really tapping in to understanding who we are and being able to understand the stages of change, because nothing can happen if we don't make changes. And if we don't understand or are not aware of what the changes are, it's hard for us to do that as well. So really important for us to be grateful for the things that we have, and then good things come. And so I was talking with somebody the other day, and one of the things that I did was we talk a lot about we talk a lot, and I often talk about getting rid of things, like, right? So if it no longer serves you, get rid of it. And so one of the things is that I had my treatment bed, and so since being here in June, early part of July, we were here at the end of June, and so early part of July, so from July until just a few weeks ago, I had probably a handful of people, maybe two handfuls of people that had actually physically come in for a session in person, and everyone else has been doing it online. So at the beginning of June, or at the beginning of, well, at the end of January, but we announced that as of January 1st, I would no longer be doing providing in-person services for certain things. And so, like, I still have the foot detox and things like that, but the energy stuff I was going to be focusing more online, because that's where people were coming and connecting with me anyway. And hello, Miss Trey. And so it's just really important for me. It was like, okay, well, I need to make some room, because, like, again, if you were in my space, you knew that, like, I was like bumping from side to side. Like, now I can actually move over to this side. Alexis was actually able to sit here this morning when we were actually pulling cards, and so lots of different things that are actually going on that way. And so as much as it still looks very disastrous in the back end, but that's the goal, is to be able to get that cleaned up and organized. But but being able to remove something so that something new can come into practice or come into play. And so a few things have actually come into play, and I attribute a lot of that to the gratitude. I attribute that a lot to the gratitude challenge that we've been on. And so, yes, there's going to be some things that is like, oh my God, do I really have to deal with that today? Or, oh my God, this happened, or like all these different things. So yes, there's going to be some things, but if we can actually come back to like being in gratitude, and being into what's that next thing that we need to do. And so that is what day 30 is all about, is really being able to, like, so how grateful were you over the last 30 days? How did it impact you? How did being able to create your awareness? And so it is really important. And so one of the things that I have this year that I don't normally have on my desk is I have a calendar from Louise Hay. And so every day, when I remember, I don't always remember to pull off the label, but the gratitude, or I guess it is a gratitude prompt, but the prompt that she has for today is: in my relationships with both friends and lovers alike, we are equals. We respect each other's decisions. And that is something that I can honestly say that am super grateful for my husband. And so anybody who knows me well knows that some days I like want to beat my head up against a wall sometimes with him, as he does with me. But for the most part, I am super grateful for him, and I am thankful for the support that he provides me, and all the things that we have. And it goes both ways. But like I'm grateful for him, and so even on days that it's like, okay, I don't know if I can last, I don't know if I can handle this, but he's still somebody who really lights up my life and helps me maintain what it is that I need. And so I am super grateful for him. And this is the prompt for today. So I will leave it at that, and I will chat with all of you guys later. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day. And if you have not yet signed up for Inner Power, so whether you're catching this on April 30th or you are catching this on May 31st, it doesn't matter. You can still join the Inner Power. Inner Power will actually be on repeat, on replay. So there's going to be some recorded lessons, and then we're going to come together on Fridays. And so if you are beyond that, then we still have access to each other inside the community. So there's still lots of support, and you will still always be connected. So no matter when it is that you're listening to this, and if you are part of the Gratitude Challenge and you have signed up for the Gratitude Challenge of 2023, and you come across this video, then I invite you to use the coupon discount code if you are still in. So for the entire 2023, it will still be available on my website under programs and services. So go ahead and find it there, and then you still get a $20 discount on the program of being able to join. So I will chat with all of you guys later. And the other thing about the Inner Power is that it is lifetime access. So because I'm going to do this again next year, and so when we come back to at the end of April 30th of 2024, we are going to dive back into the Inner Power, and we're going to be able to deepen it even that much further. And so it's about repetition, it's about starting over, and people have actually been on my Gratitude Challenge now since 2018, I believe, is when I started. And so people have come back and done this with me every single year. The prompts are a little bit different. Some of them are the same. The days are different, and my reflections are different. And so I invite you to come and join and participate, and you are welcome. So I will chat with all of you guys later, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye for now. Maybe if I can find my notes. Bye.